Hello and welcome to Brewskies and House Keys. I am Nicole Kostelecki.
And I'm Nick Papantanakis.
And we are here in our Old Town Remax Alliance office and enjoying some beers.
We're back.
We are. It's been a while. You're back.
It's been a while. That's true.
Yeah.
There was an amazing episode. If you haven't watched it yet, you need to. That came out early on in January, and it was perfect with our esteemed colleague.
Yes, the man behind the camera.
Bump, bump, bump. I liked how you called him our Wilson.
He's
that guy. That's right. It's good to be back with
Delicious.
You guys.
This is
I was a little bit jealous, more so that I just wasn't sitting in the room. I didn't care if I was on camera or not. I just missed this. So I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Yeah, it's fun.
Back
Did you
in
have
action.
a nice Christmas and New Year's? And...
It was good. We got
you got
the kind of the brunt of the travel shenanigans like a lot of folks did. Ours was relatively painless compared to what it sounds like a lot of people dealt with.
Right.
But our flight got canceled at 1:30 in the morning when we had been at the airport for 7.5, 8 hours already. So it was a little bit of a hard letdown after all that. But we ended up still getting to see my wife's family out in California and got a couple extra days because flights were all wonky. And so that was no real harm done. But it was good to see everybody and get out there. And her grandmother is 99 years old.
Good for her.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Any chance we get to get out there, Jeannie's like, we have to because I want to make sure I can see her, and we had such a fun visit with her. So it was awesome.
That is awesome.
How was yours?
It was really good.
Yeah.
I just hung out around here and then I guess we went up to South Dakota again, which was very fun. And I didn't have to deal with planes. So that was nice.
See, that
just
is
drove
nice.
Up there.
Just live close to somewhere. Maybe that's the key. That's the trick.
I went snowboarding up there and I haven't gone in maybe in a embarrassingly long amount. But
and how was it?
It was fun. I'm not the biggest fan.
No.
I get too cold.
That's fair.
Where?
My feet. No, my foot gets my foot goes numb.
My
bad foot goes numb, and then I'll do one ski run, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Beer break.
What do you mean? Where did I ski in South Dakota?
Yeah.
Terry Peak. There's a ski resort. It's near Deadwood.
Is that like a 100-yard run or something?
No, it's a little bit bigger than that, but
spoken
it is
like a true Coloradoan.
It is. It's definitely smaller than here, but it's kind of nice because it doesn't have like the really long lift lines. People are nice. Yeah.
I mean, look at the wall behind you. That's that most epic.
I know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Some of my
that's
favorites.
True.
But I always say
still,
this.
It's a good enough hill.
Getting out on the snow, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter where you are. If you're out, you're doing it.
I actually prefer that to
there you go.
Colorado. Yeah. Yep.
I approve that too.
Okay.
That's my MO. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever skied anywhere or snowboarded anywhere outside. No, that's not true. I've snowboarded. I've been to Mammoth in California.
Okay.
And I think Park City once, but that's it. Otherwise, I need my mountains here. I need my these mountains.
They're great, but I've heard traffic has just gotten. See, I just stay away from traffic.
I know that's the kicker.
Bad from what I've heard.
Yeah.
The key is to know somebody who has a cabin up there.
Yes.
Or
buy one from us.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a segue!
Wow,
that was incredible. This is Brewskies and House Keys after all, so I think that was pretty good. Speaking of Brewskies,
yes,
I want to talk about this.
Speaking and skiing
and skiing. That's actually a very good point.
This is good.
Where did you get these beers?
So I went to Yonder Brewing Company.
Over Yonder.
And it's a cool little spot. That was my first time I've been in there. It's in Morrison, basically right off the Morrison exit in I-70.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that little area existed. There's like a hotel over there. There's a Harley Davidson. They're really close to Red Rocks.
And Bandamere and all that stuff, right? Is it right in there, or am I making that up?
You're making that up a little bit. Bandamere's a little bit down and around C470.
Oh, that's that side. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, no. But it's close-ish to there.
Yeah.
But
Just trying to get my bearings.
And actually, I was looking on their website, and if you come back from skiing and show your lift ticket from that day, you get a discount. So that's why I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Those guys are so smart.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to sit in that traffic, so you might as well just stop and...
Well, or if you carpool, there's that lot you can kind of, what is it called?
Woolly Mammoth.
Woolly
the
Mammoth.
Mammoth
I
lot.
was like, we just said Mammoth. Yes. So Woolly Mammoth lot, you can, if you park there, waiting or go meet up with people, carpool up. On your way back, you can go get a beer.
I like that.
If you have a show at Red Rocks, they have a
shuttle. Isn't that what you were saying?
Yeah, I looked. Yeah, I was reading about
Nicole
them a little
told
bit,
us.
and they have a partnership with the hotel right there and a shuttle service. So if you're a guest of theirs, the Over Yonder, they'll organize that shuttle for you free of charge. It sounds like, and it gets you to and from the show because parking over there is a nightmare and
That's
hiking up that whole
awesome.
thing. So I mean, that's huge. That's an amazing.
I wonder if you have
that's
to
the new
stay
move.
at the hotel.
at the top of Red Rocks. You're walking up the stairs to Red
Oh
Rocks.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
You're gassed before the show starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have like 3 of these in your pockets, and you're out by the time you get there, and you're also dehydrated and going up like 2,000 feet in elevation. So you're like,
But it makes for an easier walk down.
that's true. That's true. Going home is a lot easier.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah, but I'm drinking. So the one I have is called Maize Cream Ale, or Maize Cream Ale is what the beer tender said. But it's a corn. It said a flaked maize brewed with flaked maize. So I like corn flakes, I'm assuming.
Flaked corn is a real thing that they'll put in different batches of beer, and that actually gives that.
Is it not like cornflakes?
I don't think so, but we can pretend. And actually, maybe Over Yonder could reach out to us and let us know what the story is.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd
That
like
would be
that.
great.
It'd be
But
fun.
this is delicious.
I tried
very
it
easy drinking.
before we start. Oh man, that's my
yeah.
jam right there.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's like too creamy, but I don't know, it's a little bit sweeter. It's good.
And cream ales tend to have those like smaller
try it
bubbles
again.
sometimes, so it's a little bit, it's not quite as like kick you in the
Yeah,
face
yeah,
CO2. Yeah, that's like you can have a few of those and not feel like you're getting knocked on your butt.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Very good drinking.
Very easy drinking. Relatively, I think, yeah.
I would
think it's
imagine. It
5.
doesn't say
5.4 says right there.
ABV, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's
I don't know what
it's pretty darn tasty.
I don't
And
know
then-
that it's not hoppy or anything.
No.
What is that? Yeah.
Malty.
Yeah, malty.
Delicious.
It's very yummy.
Easy sipping. And then Nico's drinking one of their other ones.
Their citronade.
Citronade, and that was pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Delicious.
That one's got that hop forward goodness going on there. That's for
time.
sure. Big time.
Yeah.
And I'm playing a little game with myself called seeing how many different non-alcoholic beers I can learn about in my life. I kind of cut back a little bit on the actual beer consumption. I know that's nuts considering the name of our podcast, but there's a lot of breweries doing non-alcoholic right now too. And so I'm kind of exploring those a little bit.
Yeah.
And Nicole picked me out the Gruvi Discovery Series Juicy IPA today. This one it's very juicy. Like
Yeah.
it almost tastes like juice and not in a bad way. It's more just kind of this very bright and kind of some traits of like of an actual juicy IPA without the kick. So it's not bad. It's pretty light. We've done a lot of those non-alcoholics. If you watched other episodes
From October, yeah.
from October, and I think this one would beat out a lot of those for sure. In my
it's
opinion.
good. Very
So
good.
it's up there. Pretty darn tasty.
Yeah.
Colorado.
So I don't see it on the label.
No, and it's hard.
But-
It's hard to know. They were just selling this there, right?
Well, they were, but when I was telling you about that article in 5280 that
Mhm.
had the beers from Colorado area, and this was in there. So I am assuming they are, but don't quote me.
We'll do more research.
Yeah.
We'll put it in the notes. We'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what are we doing today?
Let's jump into it. We are doing the January market update.
Dun, dun, dun.
We got the December numbers. They're in.
2022 is over.
Yeah.
And
wow.
we got to reflect on how things went. So we'll dive right in.
Yeah.
Traditionally, we'll just kind of preface it this way. December, if you go into the real estate world, is seasonally just a slower month in general. And the numbers are very, very reflective of that. Looking at residential median home price was $554,990. That is about 1.5% decrease from November. So prices continue to slope downward a little bit. If you break that down, attached and detached, for detached homes, the median single family home price was right at $600,000. That's an almost 2.5% decrease from November's numbers. And then for attached condos, townhomes, multifamily, median price was $405,000, which was about 1.25% decrease. So everything is decreasing. We're seeing that kind of gradual decrease across the board, which is typical. But we've been seeing that for the second half of 2022.
Right.
We saw that curve kind of gently slope downward.
Coming down.
And overall, if you look back a year at December 2021, compare that to this past December, and our home prices are still up, but they're only up 1.8%. So they're essentially almost flat. They're almost back to where they were a year ago, which is kind of wild considering the ride that the market has been on in the last 12 months.
Right. They increased quite a bit last spring, even early last of 2022. Started coming down, I'd say, in August-ish.
Yeah.
Is when we started seeing the prices reflect.
Yep.
And then it's just been that slow drop down. And now we're kind of closing the gap, I'd say.
And I know we don't need to get too far into the politics of it, but I know all the talk of Fed rate increases and all that jazz, people listen to that stuff. Yeah. And it's reflected in their behaviors, which is why we see the changes in activity, which leads to the change in prices. And the interest rates did. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then just kind of diving into some more numbers. So the average days in MLS for December was 43 days. So that is a 26.47% increase from November.
Over a month.
Right, which was at 34.
Dang.
Okay. And that's breaking that down. That's 45 days for attached homes and 35 days for detached homes.
Damn.
So, yeah, they are obviously staying on the market longer than we saw last year.
Yep.
It's 43 days, which is important to kind of note. And then there were 4,757 active listings at month's end, which is down 23.92% from November's month end of 6,253. But it's up 222% from 2021.
Did you say it's up 222%?
Yes.
From a year ago?
Yes, the active month's end listings.
That's insane.
That's a lot.
That means there was less than 2,000 homes active.
Right.
In December of 21.
Right. So, yes, it's definitely, there's more listings out there, but that's, it's good thing to know.
We can say we saw this. We were there.
Yeah.
We went through
when
it.
There was only that
was
many.
Insane.
Yes, it was. So another interesting number is the amount of closed homes that in December was 2,700, which is down from November 11.26% and down year over year by 43%.
Inventory up, sales down.
Yeah, so we definitely have been seeing the market shifting, and I think that has a lot to do with, getting back to the seasonality of the market and with the holiday season.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There were 1,735 new listings in the month of December. So that's a 35.19% decrease from November. So I think sellers like I said, sellers waited to put their homes on the market. I think we'll start seeing some come back on in the next months to come.
Can you blame them?
No.
Do you want to list your home when it's the holidays and you have family around or you're traveling?
Right. And last year, we were seeing houses you listed on Thursday. It's done, you have your showings over the weekend, and then it's under contract by the end of the weekend. And that just isn't the case anymore. So with that 43 days average, it just makes more sense not to have your house on the market.
Yeah, it's important
if you're living there
to lay that out as an expectation too,
right,
for folks that are actually looking to jump into that. But we'll dive into what that means.
Yep. So average close to list price was 98.38%. So
still getting their money more or less.
Yep. And then interest rates, last time I checked, which was last Friday, so we're at 6.2%. So that's for a 30-year conventional loan. So yeah, what does that mean for our buyers, Nick?
I think it's going to be a unique time. There was one more thing in there that I think would be good to mention too, just from the standpoint of where we were a year ago.
Right.
So maybe if you want to speak to just what went on in Colorado a year ago.
Right. So last year, right before the end of 2021, we had the unfortunate Marshall fire, which it was like 1,000 homes that were lost. So obviously that created a higher demand for homes for those folks that lost them. So I just think it'll be very interesting to see the numbers this January versus last January.
So when we do our next market update, we'll kind of get to see that reflection.
Yeah.
And compare. It'll be very interesting. I agree with you. But I think it was a good note that you put in there to talk about that one. If you're a buyer right now, seasonality, we keep saying it, but I think that's a real piece. I do think that that's a good thing if you're a patient and serious buyer. Mm-hmm. If you are still of the mindset that things are going for a bunch over list and they're super competitive, there's times where that's happening, but I think it's important to be patient and know that you can get out there with maybe a little less competition right now. Mm-hmm. And get out there and look. I think this is the time of year to do that because, like you said, I think a lot of folks will start to think about listing again, maybe as spring rolls around, which maybe people think spring of March and April and that kind of thing. So January and February is a great time. Yeah. I think you have a little less competition there, but as we saw in the numbers, there's also slightly fewer listings out there right now. So you may have to weed through more of them before you find the right one. Mm-hmm. But there again, that's why that patience will play a huge role. And I think that inventory thing is 100% on the seasonality side more than anything else. So
it's kind of nice for buyers though, because they don't, they see all the different homes that are on the market and they can have a chance to like kind of think about it, as opposed to last year where it would be all new inventory every weekend.
It's a fire sale.
It's just moving so fast. So it's kind of nice that they could see a couple, and take their time.
I've got clients right now, just talked to them on the phone today. Mm-hmm. We are going back to a property for a second showing.
Yes.
And we're able to do that. And they're kind of making that move to consider it more. And they're able to do that. Whereas, like you said, a year ago, that wasn't a thing. Right. So I think that is a very important piece. The other side of that is, and I know we've said this in past market updates, but that negotiating power continues to be in the favor of the buyer. Mm-hmm. There is less competition, so they can be a little more picky with their inspection items or with price or little things like that. So it's good to have that conversation with whoever their agent is to make sure they understand what their options are and that their agent is being strategic with them on what will work best.
Yeah, definitely.
To get them to the finish line where they want to be.
And their lender too.
Very absolutely. So that's buyers. How about if you're a seller in this market right now?
Yep. So on the sell side, still think it's pretty important to price conservatively and not be too aggressive. And then also, multiple offers can still happen. They are still happening.
Absolutely.
As long as the house is priced right and the house is in good condition. Another thing is contingency clauses are starting to make their way back into offers. So what a contingency clause is when a buyer still is living in their house, but they need to sell their house in order to finance the house that they're buying. You write that into the contract. And so that's just something to be aware of as a seller, that there might be some offers that come your way that are contingent on the buyer selling their home.
And a year ago, if a seller saw in their stack of offers that they got, one of those, that would get pushed to the bottom of the pile.
Right.
Because it's maybe less likely to get to the finish line. Right. Whereas now, I think that's very smart to keep that in mind.
Yeah. And yep, they're coming. So just keep an eye out for them. It's not a bad thing. It's still a buyer, but it's a good thing to note.
Yep.
The other thing I've been noticing a lot is just buyers asking for a lot more when it comes to inspection objection items. So just be prepared for that as a seller. There's probably quite a few more things that they are going to ask for. And, you can alleviate some of that by making sure you maintain your home too.
Yeah, and I mean, being real honest with that seller's property disclosure when you do fill that out for your home and you get ready to list it. And I agree, that pride of ownership.
Yeah,
that really does get you more at the bottom line. It does.
It's true.
It can help a lot.
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, that's something that people are asking for, and I'm seeing a lot of them get it too.
Yeah. Yeah, because sellers are ready. They want to get that house off the market.
Exactly.
Yep.
Let's see. So buying, the other important thing as a seller is you can use the buying down the buyer's rate in order to get your house sold as well. So that's something that we're seeing a lot of.
More often than not, actually, you see those contingencies at the end.
Right.
Because we can look back at closed properties and we can see if there were any concessions given. And gosh, it's crazy.
A lot. I've seen quite a bit when you go through the closed. More, like you said, more often than not, it seems like that's the case. So, yeah.
So lots to digest. New year. So there's a new horizon for you out there if you are buying. I think, like we said, it's a good time to plan for it. And it's okay to put your house on the market right now too, because you may have less competition from other homes on the market. So you may be the one that someone's looking for.
Right.
I think those are good things to consider.
Yeah, especially if you live in Wheat Ridge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We looked up that number.
Yeah. So we were looking at active listings in Arvada and Wheat Ridge. And it was this morning, it was at 200 for Arvada, about 200, and 35 in Wheat Ridge.
35 active listings in the entire city of Wheat Ridge.
That's pretty nuts.
That people move in and they don't leave. And Nicole was one of them.
Yeah.
And she's happy.
I know. My friend asked me if he could buy my house yesterday. I was like, I don't think so, but nope.
You're like, I won't be one of the 35. Nope.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Sorry.
So crazy stuff, but happy to have that kind of wrap up to the year. It does give that good scope. And that's kind of that's our summary for the market update for December. Thank you as always for joining us. Thank you to Nico and Nicole, because I always have a good time with you guys, and I missed you guys so much. I know you think I'm nuts, but I did. And thanks to Over Yonder, because delicious beer and obviously a pretty rad place to go hang out. So we may have to, field trip. I keep saying that.
Cool.
It's gonna happen one of these days.
Just you wait.
I will put the NA on hiatus for us to go take a field trip there. It sounds awesome. And then as always, if you like what we're putting out, if you're checking it out, you dig it for the first time, hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, we love you. We thank you. Don't forget to reach out to us if you want one of those fancy pants bottle openers. We still have some left. And outside of that, we always appreciate your feedback. To the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, nope.
We'll drink one for you.